Okay, good morning, Sir Marvelia. We are the Group 3 and we're going to discuss about the National Tourism Development Plan. So in this topic, we are going to discuss the strategy and action plan elements. So for the first strategy and action plan is the undertake capacity enhancement measures for NAIA as embodied in the preliminary JICA report for DOTR consideration. So this strategy will provide inputs to the DOTR on the proposed dual airport policy for NAIA and Clark. This will also privatize the operations and maintenance of NAIA and Clark as airports under the dual airport system, and it will also implement the congestion plans for NAIA. So for the time frame for this strategy will be from 2016 to 2022. So the lead responsible and strategic partners are DOT, DOTR, MIAA, CAAP, and CIAC. So for the success indicators are tourism's inputs incorporated in the policy insurance, tourism's inputs incorporated in the feasibility study of NAIA and Clark's privatization, and tonight rating of priority domestic airports completed. Then for the next strategy is expand capacity and modernize facilities, equipment, and operations, and maintenance of existing gateways. So for the Clark Airport, they will expand the Clark Airport terminal and runway capacity and build access road from SCTEX to Clark Airport Terminal. And for the regional PPP program, they implement they implement the privatization of operations and maintenance of the Iloilo, Bacolod, New Bohol, Davao, and Laguindigan airports. Then for the program for other international gateways, they will complete the rehabilitation of the old terminal and acquisition of sites to expand capacity of Kalibo for mid-range to long-haul flights. They will complete the modernization of Katiklan Airport and declare it as international gateway and to modernize Lawag International Airport. The time frame will be from 2016 to 2022, and then for the lead responsible and strategic partners are DOT, DOTR, CIAC, CAAP, and PPP Pro Center. Then for the success indicators are inputs from tourism industry incorporated in airport designs and programs. Also is regional airports privatized and airport expansion programs completed by 2020. Then for the third strategy and action plan is invest in new gateways to service future destinations such as San Vicente. This strategy will operate the San Vicente Airport for domestic flights, invest in runway expansion and extension of San Vicente, and expedite the completion classification as international and operation of the New Bohol and New Bicol International Airport for international flights. This also refers proposal of Ilocos Shore to NEDA as PPP for the upgrading of Vigan Airport for international operations. So for the time frame will be from 2016 to 2020, and then the lead responsible and strategic partners are DOT, DOTR, CAAP, PGP, and PGA. The success indicators is new airport gateways operational by 2020.
For the fourth strategy, it establishes a dedicated cruise port and terminal in Metro Manila to pave the way for fly cruise programs by identifying sites that should attract private investors. So the descriptive activities identify the area and implement MOU among the concerned government agencies and or private sector investors, bid out the master plan for the Manila Cruise Port and the technical studies, operate the cruise port and terminal. The time frame is from 2016 to 2018. The lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, TIEZA, DPWH, DOTR, CCP, and PPA. The success indicators are MOU, signed and implemented. Cruise port established by 2018. For the next strategy and action plan, improved existing ports of destinations identified by cruise lines as having the capability to host cruise programs. So the description of activities are to develop ports and destinations within or close to the turquoise triangle, which is the Manila, Boracay, and Puerto Princesa. Prepare for additional destinations in the north of Luzon, and to improve the following ports: Coron, Iloilo, Tagbilaran, Cebu, Salumage, or Corimao. The time frame for this is 2016 to 2020, and the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, PPA, and LGUs. The success indicators are port improvements completed by 2020. For the sixth strategy and action plan, improve port and maritime facilities for inter-island vessels in support of inter-island tourism circuit development through but not limited to Roro, boats, and yachts. The description of activities is to identify the maritime routes in support of tourism circuit development and improve the facilities to ensure safe and convenient sea passage. The time frame is 2016 to 2017, and the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, DOTR or the PPA Marina, and TIAZA. For the success indicators, the port facilities for inter-island maritime routes improved by 2022.
So for the seventh strategy and action plan is to fund the improvement of tourism and road projects to ensure safe and seamless movements of visitors within across the TDAs. So that description of activities are to implement the medium-term tourism infrastructure program 2016 to 2022 in support of tourism circuit development, provide support infrastructure and physical improvements in major tourism destinations to enhance the travel experience, develop the criteria for prioritizing farm tourism roads and update the medium-term tourism road infrastructure program to include the priority farm tourism roads. The time frame for this is from 2016 to 2022, and the lead responsible strategy partners are DOT, DPWH, and DA, and the success indicator is the funding for the tourism roads in the infra program. And for the next strategy and action plan is to pursue the development of the railway system to enhance mobility across TDAs and clusters. The description of activities is to provide inputs to development of the studies and implementation of proposed railway programs, for example, Manila to Clark, Clark to Cordillera, Cagayan de Oro to Davao. So the time frame for this action is from 2017 to 2022, and the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, DOTR, NEDA, and PPP. The success indicators is the tourism inputs incorporated in the railway studies. And next is to accelerate development of support infrastructure of TEZs. The, dis- the description of activities are Rizal Park, Metro Manila, Mount Samat, Bataan, San Vicente, Palawan, Panglao, Bohol, Bucas Grande, Surigao del Norte. The time frame for this is from 2016 to 2020. The lead responsible strategic partners are Piazza and DOT, and the success indicators is that TEZs operating and generating investments and tourist arrivals.
So another program under improving competitiveness and enhancing growth is to pursue travel facilitation initiatives, which cost 120 million. So the first strategic plan for this program is to advocate for the ASEAN Common Visa initiative by working closely with the Department of Foreign Affairs and Department of Justice. The activities for this program is the DOT to submit position paper and actively participate in the Tourism Competitiveness Committee of the ASEAN NTOs so as to accelerate the implementation of Article 2 of 2000 ASEAN Tourism Agreement. Another activity is to is that DOT to regularly meet with concerned DFA and immigration authorities to synchronize efforts in being able to meet the technical requirements for the implementation of the ASEAN Common Visa. So the time frame for this strategy is from 2017 to 2019. So the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, DFA, and BID. So the success indicator is the position paper submitted to ASEAN. So the next strategic plan is to pursue the adoption of the advanced passenger information system for airlines and cruise ships. The description of activities is to issue the executive order on the APIS. Next is to strongly endorse the budgetary submission of the Immigration Bureau for additional funds in support of upgrading its technical and administrative capability to implement the APIS. And last one is to mobilize the tourism industry to call for the speedy implementation of the APS. So the time frame for this strategic plan is 2016. The lead responsible and strategic partners is R, DOT, BID, and OP. So the success indicators are EO issued and implemented and APIS implemented in airports and seaports. Another strategic plan is to aggressively promote new air services in international secondary gateways having extra capacity, especially in the new airports. The activities for these strategic plans are to prepare and implement the route development strategy and action plan. Next is to identify growth markets requiring increase in air seats for possible negotiations of ACAs. Next is to identify other existing country markets requiring future increase in air seats and activate negotiations for reviewing air service agreements. Next one is to discuss with relevant carriers the findings of the APEC Tourism Group draft report for the Philippines, develop air connectivity in the APEC region in introducing additional routes and to and from Australia, Canada, Indonesia, New Zealand, and the US where additional demand exists. Next is to hold Tourism Competitiveness Summit with stakeholders to craft country action plan that will reduce the travel costs to the Philippines from major source markets. Next is to implement the recommendations from the Tourism Competitiveness Summit. Next is to translate forecasted foreign tourism arrivals from key markets to forecasted passenger traffic in new and improved international airports. Last is to produce appropriate collaterals featuring new and expanded international gateways. So the time frame for this activity is from 2016 to 2022. So the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, DOTR, CAB, CAAP, BID, BOC, BOQ, air carriers and ground handlers, and airport authorities. So the success indicators are route development strategy completed and implemented by 2017, future schedule for air agreement consultation talks by CAB, and collaterals ready for distribution by 2020.
Another strategy and action plan is to work for more cruise itineraries involving new ports of call in the Philippines. The activities that would help this plan to achieve is to have a partnership with cruise lines to include new ports and destinations, and also to expand bilateral and multilateral agreements for cruise itinerary development and promotions. The time frame of this plan is from year 2016 to 2018, and the lead responsible strategic partners of this plan are the DOT, cruise lines, and Philippine Port Authority. The success indicators are to have at least 6 new ports call identified and at least 2 new itineraries introduced. Next strategy and action plan is to provide incentives to cruise lines. The description of activities are to waive cabotage for cruise ships, permit cruise ships to operate their casinos until they drop anchor, simplify visa crew list requirements and waive fees, amend tug regulation and fees, and to create a new port charges system based on frequency of calls. The time frame of this plan is from year 2016 to 2018 that was led by the DOT, DOTR, PPA, House of Representatives, and Senate. The success indicators is to study to justify proposals for Congress to amend appropriate laws completed. Another plan is to enable modernization of immigration policies and procedures. And the activities are to amend the 1940s Immigration Act to promote an enabling business environment by removing overtime fees charged to airlines and cruise lines and adopt a new visa application systems in major gateways such as electronic visa issuance, visa upon arrival procedures, and streamlined visa application requirements for China and India nationals. The time frame of this plan is from year 2016 to 2017. Sorry. The I'm sorry for that, sir. So the time frame of this plan is from year 2016 to 2017, and it was led by the DOT, DOJ, Bureau of Immigration, and DFA. And the success indicators is that the study is completed as the study completed. Next action plan is to create an air charter incentives program applicable to new and expanded new gateways. The activities are that would help this plan to achieve is are work for airport incentives and discounts from CAAP, provide promotional and advertising support for chartered operations, and carry out technical and familiarizations visit for charter operators in the new gateways. The time frame of these activities are from year 2016 to 2022, and it will be led by the DOT, DOTR, CAAP, TPB, tour operators, and LGUs. The program is still being implemented.
So, in continuation with the improving competitiveness and enhancing growth is to attract tourism investments and improve business environment. So, for the strategy and action plan, we have pushed for the resolution of the existing impasse on the granting of TIAZA incentives. So, the description of activities are to undertake briefings for the tourism committees of both House and Congress and work for major businesses and industry players to act as lobby groups, which are the Tourism Congress, PCCI, Chambers of Commerce, and Tourism Associates. So the time frame of this strategy and action plan is from 2016 to 2017. The lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, TIAZA, Tourism Associations, Tourism Congress, PCCI, and Chambers of Commerce. So the success indicators is the IRR passed by 2017. The next strategy and action plan is to formulate a tourism investments promotion. So part of the activities is to produce the necessary collaterals highlighting investment opportunities covering tourism and recreational facilities open for investment in each project. The goal is also to create and maintain a website. So the time frame of this strategy and action plan is from 2016 to 2022. The lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, TIAZA, DFA, DTI, foreign business councils, and media partners. For success indicators is 60% of investment targets achieved. Next, please. The next strategy and action plan is to attract investments in hotels or resorts to fill in projected supply gaps. So, description of activities is to prepare industry roadmap for the accommodation sector and to conduct roadshows, investment missions among the hotel, resort, real estate industry, stakeholders, and investment promotions agencies. So, the time frame of this strategy and action plan is from 2016 to 2022. The lead responsible strategic partners is the private sector or the investors. The success indicators, the indicator is 70% of room requirements achieved.
So another strategy and caption plan is to expand major Philippine carriers fleet through aircraft acquisition. So the goal is to invest in the new aircraft fleet in order to improve connectivity capacity, passenger experience, and to promote safety. So the time frame for this is from 2016 to 2022. The lead responsible strategic partners is the Philippine air carriers, and the success indicators is the aircraft fleet delivered. Next is to expand investments program to include crucial infrastructure needed in priority TDAs and other areas through NADA to PPP. And the goal is to endorse proposal for the new Bigan Inti Airport and undertake studies to support the development of the private island concept so as to expand the country's cruise products including the Pag-asa Island as possible cruise and marine research destination, and also to promote the development of new exhibition and trade venues or centers in Metro Manila, Cebu, Davao, and other key urban capitals. And the time frame for this is from 2016 to 2020. The lead responsible strategic partners are the DOT, PPA, and NADA, LGUs, TCP, PACEOS, and the success indicators are the completed study of this fast ferry system and the development of exhibition and trade venues for MICE industry included in investment program. Another strategy and action plan is to work for the rotational hosting of the ASEAN Tourism Investment Forum. And the goal is to, through meetings with the ASEAN NTOs, propose the rotational hosting of the investment event among member countries similar to TRAPEX. The time frame for this is from 2016 to 2017. Lead responsible strategic partners are the DOT, ASEAN NTOs, and ASEAN TAM. Success indicators is rotational hosting initiated in 2018.
So the next action plan is to develop systems and procedures to improve competitiveness of the tourism industry, involving reforms in starting a business, attracting and protecting investors, getting credit, among others. So the activities done for this plan is prepare DOT administrative order creating a task force in improving competitiveness in the tourism industry, which will include TCP and other appropriate entities. Next is prepare objectives in the areas requiring reforms by working with the National Competitiveness Council. Next is undertake consultations with the industry stakeholders, and lastly to develop roadmap. So the time frame for this plan is between 2016 to 2017, and the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT and attached agencies, NCC, DILG, DOF,
BIR, DOJ, and SEC. So the next action plan is to pursue the development of tourism circuits and corridors by linking tourism development areas via road and sea, connectivity emphasizing existence of public transport routes linking the tourism sites, urban service centers, and accommodation facilities of varying categories. So the activities done for this plan is they have four different tourism circuit development task forces comprised of DOT, DPWH, DILG to establish preliminary trunk routes. So this includes Northern Luzon Tourism Circuit, Southern Luzon Tourism Circuit, East Center Visayas Tourism Circuit, West Center Visayas Tourism Circuit, Northern Mindanao Tourism Circuit, and lastly, Southern Mindanao Tourism Circuit. Also, they were able to expand task forces to include the transport companies, petrol companies, automobile and biking associations, and map out tour itineraries. Lastly, they were able to assess actual tour itineraries through actual experimental trips. And the time frame for this activity is between 2016 to 2018. And the lead responsible strategic partners are the DOT and regional offices, DPWH, DILG and selected LGUs, TIAZA, PPG, motoring associations, gasoline companies, Field TOA, and NLEX, SLEX, and other highway companies. So the success indicators is that they were able to complete the creation of all seven major tourism circuits. So strategic plan is the next strategic plan is in support of cruising, improve the tour quality and the ground experience in transit ports identified in the cruise strategy for the country. So the activities done for this action plan is that they were able to conduct shorex and site management workshops in the following areas to be able to design innovation tour programs to increase levels of satisfaction in the following ports of call, which includes Manila, Subic, Cebu, Tagbilaran, Bohol, Puerto Princesa, Palawan, Coron, Palawan, Boracay, and Caticlan. So the time frame for this action plan is between 2017 to 2018, and the lead responsible strategic partners are DOT, DOTR, PPA, selected LGUs, cruise lines, cruise ground operators. And the success indicator for this plan is that they were able to create 12 new tour programs.
So for the next strategy and action plan is to undertake the development of farm tourism or agritourism for RA 10816. So the activities for this plan is to create a farm tourism development board. So this will help the responsible strategic partners to be updated on the current situation of the agritourism here in our country. And then the next one is to undertake accreditation system based on standards. The next one is to implement accreditation system and design tour programs. And the last one is to formulate criteria for site selection and design action plan for its development. So the time frame for these activities starts in 2016 to 2022. And the lead responsible strategic partners are the DOT, PA, DTI, DPWH, DALG, and its success indicator is development and promotion of farm tourism programs implemented nationwide. So for the next and the second to the last one strategy and action plan is the designation of 6 additional tourism enterprises zones or the TEZs. So the activities for this action plan is first to coordinate with the DOT regional offices and LGUs for submission of recommended TEZs based on TIAZA criteria. So this will help them know what are the possible tourism enterprises zones within the region. And then the second one is to conduct a site inspections and pre-market evaluations to develop shortlist. So this will enable the strategic partners to know that what tourism enterprises zones are qualified for this plan. And then the last one is to conduct a pre-feasibility studies and other supporting plans. So the time frame for this plan is starts in 2017 and ends in 2022. So the lead responsible strategic partners for this plan is the DOT, regional officers, TIAZA, LGUs, provincial tourism councils, and local communities. So the success indicator for this one is the 6 new TEZ sites identified and planned. So for our last strategy and action plan is to expand and strengthen the lineup of nature and culture-based products, which has always been cited as a major strength of the country due to its vast and natural resource base and cultural diversity. So its activities are pursue extensive product market research to identify and quantify special interest market segments. These market segments are the nature and culture based. And the last one is to update the profiling of nature and culture-based products as identified in the 49 tourism development areas and pursue improvement of site facilities in conformity with LGU and community tourism plans. So the time frame for this action plan starts in 2017 and ends in 2022. So the lead responsible strategic partners is the DOT, DANR, and LGUs. And lastly, the success indicator for this plan is the database for special interest market established. And that ends our report. So thank you so much for listening.